Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, under Commander General Johanna. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indians that they are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And tonight is our brotherhood class. First, I want to say, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barak Atham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Atham Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. Before we get started, I want to read this, what ISUPK is all about. In the ISUPK, we're educating Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians about their true heritage, which is comprised of the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Once our people begin to follow the laws of the Bible, God, or Yahweh in the Hebrew, will look down from heaven and have mercy on us. He will also send Christ to free us from our oppression. Using the Bible, the ISUPK will fix all the problems of the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities, turning a lawless and immoral people into a law-abiding, righteous people. The true nationality of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, and West Indians of North, Central, and South America are the true descendants of the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and Jesus Christ, or Yahweh Shai Mashiach, is their king. Once again, this is a Tuesday night brotherhood class out of Oakland, California. I'm Officer Kakam Ahmad. I got Officer Tazabah here reading for us tonight. And, we're going to go into our brotherhood scriptures. If you've heard us before, you know that we say that brotherhood is the strongest weapon that we have in the nation of Israel.
Right.
There's no getting around it. Before coming to the truth, a lot of brothers, unless you're born in this truth, you don't know what brotherhood is. Before coming into the truth, we all thought we had some kind of semblance of brotherhood, and we never had it, never whatsoever. We would run with brothers and, do certain things with them and expect them to hold their water afterwards and find out that, we were acting ourselves, because at the end of the day, outside of ISUPK under Commander General Johanna, brotherhood does not exist.
Right. And
in ISUPK under Commander General Johanna, this is where you learn how to be a brother and a sister in this truth. We're going to get into the scriptures. We're going to start off with 1 John chapter 4, verse 20 through 21. Go ahead.
If a man say, I love God, Yahweh, and hate his brother, he is a liar.
Stop right there. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. So right off the bat, the Most High is saying, you cannot say you love him and hate your brother. Because if you do that, you are lying. You are a liar. And one of the worst things we want to be called is a liar, not only just in this truth, but in the world. You call a person a liar, they're ready to fight. And we're talking about something real simple, coming into this truth. We say we love God, all the way, not really knowing what we're saying. We're saying that we love the Most High, and we'll do anything for the Most High. But at the end of the day, read that again.
For if a man say, I love Yahweh, and hateth his brother, he is a liar.
Go ahead.
For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he hath not seen?
All right. So once again, this is going to kind of repeat itself, but the Most High tells us things over and over again. And most times when he's trying to tell us something, we don't listen. That's why we have line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, because we have to go different places in the Bible to understand what it's actually saying. And right here, it's saying, Salakia. For he that loveth his brother whom he have not seen. Now, you say you love God and you have not seen him. And you see your brother every single day. And you say you love the Most High, but hated your brother. So once again, let's read that from the top again, please, Baba Kashab. And let me slow it down a little bit. Go ahead.
If a man say, I love Yahweh, and hateth hateth his hateth his brother, he is a liar.
Keep going.
For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love Yahweh whom he hath not seen?
So once again, there we go. You see your brother every single day. Leave your house, going to your slave, and you see your brothers on the street, and you can't say hello to him. You know, in this brotherhood, we learn how to speak to our brothers. We learn how to speak to our sisters in respect. You know, because there's nothing worse than going through this world and, you know, not only just feeling alone, but being alone. And you'd be surprised how just a simple hello or a simple shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, to a brother, you know, makes a brother's day or even his week for that matter. So, you know, how can you say you love God whom you have not seen and you hate your brother who you see every day? So we have to learn how to reach out and commune, you know, not commune, but, you know, fellowship with our brothers and sisters so they understand that we love them. Go ahead.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth Yahweh love his brother also.
So there you go. So this is a commandment. You know, this book is our Constitution. It's filled with our laws, statutes, and commandments. And being in this truth, you're going to hear this over and over and over again. And sometimes, like I say, you're going to feel like it may be repetitive, but we need to be repetitive. The Most High has to be repetitive with us because we're such a hard-headed and stiff-necked people that we need to hear this over and over and over again. And so not only when you hear this in class, when you hear us starting this on the streets, you need to go back home and get into these scriptures and understand the breakdowns that we, the priests and prophets of the Most High, are giving you from this Bible. And the only way you're going to get that breakdown is being in class in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohanan. And I'm going to read this again. And this commandment have we from him. The Most High gave these commandments to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. This is for nobody else but the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So everything you read in here when it's given commandments, instructions, it's for you, Black man. It's for you, so-called Indian man, so-called Hispanic man. This is for us. You know, this is why the law is given to us, because we are God's people. We're going to go to Matthew 25 and 40. So once again, this is about the laws, statutes, and commandments only given to Israel and Israel only. These do not apply to the other nations. And anybody that tell you so, they are a liar. No matter how much and hard they try to have these laws, statutes, and commandments apply to them, they don't. And you're going to hear that in these breakdowns tonight of who these laws, statutes, and commandments are for. All you have to do is get in your mind that you, as a Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, that this is your Constitution, that this was written to you. And if you can remember that, you can go a long way in this truth. And then when I say a long way in this truth, it means getting understanding. So that you can become, so you can learn how to get these laws, statutes, and commandments in you, so that you can, as Christ say, endure to the end and get that salvation that this book is talking about to the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We're going to read Matthew chapter 25, verse 40.
And Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily, I say unto you, in as much as ye have done to Shalakia, have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it to me.
Right. So, real quick, I want to look up the definition of verily. This is Christ talking. Christ is saying in Matthew chapter 25, verse 40, he's saying, and the king shall answer and say to them, verily. And I just want to look up the word verily and see what it says. In the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the one I have on my phone, it says, in truth, certainly, truly, confidently. So Christ is saying in truth, confidently. He's not just using, small words. We look over these words sometimes and we just kind of skip over them. But he's saying verily. He's saying in truth. He's saying actually. He's talking about honesty. He's talking about confidently. I say to you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto the least of these my brethren. So if you've done it unto the least of his brethren, which is us, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and who we call the least in society, their brother or sister that we just pass by and, have no consideration for, when we do that, we're doing that to Christ. You have done it unto me. So that's real heavy. And, we get so caught up in this society and our jobs, our houses, our cars, and all this other kind of stuff that we just totally forget our fellow man, our sister. So when I say fellow man, I'm going to say it over and over again. We're talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We got to drill that into your head, Israel. You got to get off your couch, stop smoking that weed, and get into these scriptures and get into this school.
Right.
Get into class. Let us guide you through these scriptures. You don't want to be reading these scriptures, smoking weed on your couch. You don't want to do that, because all that's going to do is have you in a fake Israelite group, and ain't no telling where you'll be after that. So I'm going to read that one more time. And the king answered and said unto them, talking to them, more than one person, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto Salakia, have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren. So he's talking about his brethren. He's talking about our brethren. We cannot lose sight that Christ is talking about his brethren, his nation of people, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So the least that you have done unto them, you've done it unto me. And we all say we love Christ, we love the Most High, but if you don't understand and learn how to treat your brother, or how to treat your sister, you're lost. Plain and simple.
Right.
We'll go to John chapter 13. We'll go to 34 through 35. Go ahead.
And John chapter 13, verse 34 through 35. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
All right there. Man, that's heavy. Christ said, a new commandment I give unto you. A new commandment. Now, we grow up, in the Christian church and the Baptist church, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and even some other, so-called Christian religions. And we say we want to follow the Ten Commandments. And that's all we think about is Ten Commandments, not understanding that there's actually 613 laws, statutes, and commandments altogether. And, once you coming to this truth, what you start to understanding is that those 10 commandments actually encompass all 618 laws. And once you start coming into this truth, learning how to fight those demons that you have, learn how to stop smoking the weed, learn how to stop smoking cigarettes, learn how to stop having sex with other men's women, just a whole myriad of sins and demons that be on us before we get into this truth. And here's where you come to learn how to fight those demons.
Right.
So I'm going to start here. Once again, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. That's real heavy right there, because Christ said, and I'm paraphrasing, he says, I come not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? And, Christianity, we always talking about how, Christ died for my sins and all this other kind of stuff, and not understanding that Christ did not just die for your individual sin, he died for Israel. Right. He died to bring the nation of Israel back together.
That's right.
The northern tribes and the southern tribes. That's what he died for, to bring us back together. Right. The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians back together. And he's the only one that can do it. Beautiful thing about it is he going to use his priests and prophets in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana to do it. Right. He's using his priests and prophets in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana to bring the northern tribes and the southern tribes back together. Seems like an impossible task. But guess what? If he told us to do it, then we can do it. So once again, he says that ye love one another, as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. So by us loving one another, it goes beyond what I was talking about earlier, about helping your individual brother man out. It goes far beyond that. It goes to the point where every day in your conversation, you have to think about brotherhood and what Christ died for. You have to think about bringing these nations back together as an individual. So when you have conversations with your Hispanic brother, you have conversations with your so-called African American brother or sister or Native Indian brother or sister, you always have to talk about the 12 tribes and who we are and what Christ died for. He died to bring us back together. So every single day we get up and we have those conversations. We have our hook out. We are fishers of men.
That's right.
And when we say we're fishers of men, we say that includes women also. So we have to have discipline and decorum when we're out there fishing, right? So, every time I'm not going to say every time, but sometimes we talk to a sister, the sister think you're trying to get at them. And then, the first thing we ask the sister, are you married? Because the thing about it, if a sister is married, we're not going to violate her husband's, the brotherhood that we have for him. We're not going to violate that brotherhood because we're going to try to fish her husband through her, invite her to class, have her come in and hopefully start living a righteous life. And hopefully her husband comes in with her. And at the same time, if he chooses not to, this sister starts learning how to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. We leave her alone because she's another man's property. That's right. I said property. We come in to this truth from Christianity. We have a hard time with that concept. Property. A woman is another man's property.
Right. It's like a family.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. If a woman come to class, period, she's off limits for 6 months, even if she don't have a husband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She there to shed herself of the world. So, if she's only to be saluted, as the security announcements say, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? She there to get fixed. Like all of us is there to get fixed, man. So this is not no little hooked up party where, you know what I'm saying, we just hooking up with women. We actually trying to fix our people.
Right.
So, that's just what I want to bring out.
Sometimes. Appreciate that, sir. As I have loved you, that ye also love one another. And because I love my brother, I'm not going to violate his woman. Right?
And I'm right.
35? Bobby Sharp?
verse 35. But by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
Man, that's beautiful. There it is again, right? If I love my brother, I'm not going to violate his property. If I love my brother, I'm not going to steal his car.
Right.
If I love my brother, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes in front of him. I'm not going to do that, right? Even if I did smoke, if I love my brother, I'm not going to smoke in front of him. If I did overdrink, I'm not going to overdrink in front of him. These scriptures get so deep, you know, and we have no idea what love is until we come into the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. You know, I'm sure every brother in this school will tell you they are grateful that Commanding General Yohana did not drop his sword, that he held on to it and he held fast to it.
That's right.
You know, and all the way down the line to all the other generals, the captains and the officers. You know, me coming into this truth just to have a brother like Officer Tazabah be an example to me, you know, to get me to the point where I can strive and I can think that I can possibly be an officer of the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. You know, I'll be honest, sometimes I don't feel worthy, right? But that's a demon. That's Satan talking, right? Because the Most High has seen fit for me to find the doors of the ISUPK, come in here, sit under these brothers' feet, and start getting the breakdown of these scriptures. Start understanding that I, not only as the Old Testament says that we will be priests, kings and priests, and then the New Testament says we are kings and priests. You know, whereas in the Christian church, they say no way that you can be that. That's for them other people. That's for them fake Jews and over in the middle. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. Now, let me stick to these brotherhood scriptures. But, you know, we have been robbed of our identity. So once again, we stick to so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian. These promises are to us, to you, right? And everything that it says in here, when the Most High and Christ is talking to his people, it applies to you, plain and simple. You know, it don't get no simpler and better than that. So with that, I want to go to Matthew 5:22. Go ahead.
Matthew 5:22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry that with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Stop right there. Man, I get goosebumps. Just, you know, once again, we're going to bang on the Christian church till the Most High and Christ, till the Most High sends Christ and his angels to end all this stuff, to end all this foolishness, right?
Right.
So he says, but I say unto you that whosoever, right? He's talking about the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's who he's talking to. He's not talking to anybody else but us. Whosoever does not mean the Edomite, the East Indian, the African, the Chinese person, the Japanese person, right? Because Christianity would tell them that they're whosoever. No, whosoever means the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. So this is Christ talking. Take that from the top again, please, Bible Shaw.
Matthew chapter 5:22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right. So, so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian, Slacker. So if you're angry with your brother without a cause, you shall be in danger of the judgment. Let me look up judgment real quick. So I guess taking a second to upload. Okay, judgment. This is the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, electronic version. The process of forming an opinion or evaluation by discerning and comparing. That's one definition. Let's see here. The capacity for judging, discernment. A formal utterance of an authoritative opinion. A formal decision given by a court. And this one's kind of start getting into, let's see here, a final judging humankind by God. But anyway, so when it talks about you being angry with your brother without a cause, you'll be in danger of judgment.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, you know, when you out here, you know what I'm saying, judging your brothers and whatnot, you got to think, you know what I'm saying, the angels is out here watching you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They having counsel about you. You know what I'm saying? They having counsel about you. You know what I'm saying? Anything you doing is everything you doing is getting written down and documented.
Right.
So, you know, you need to be, you know what I'm saying, real careful about how you step and how you know what I'm saying, how you walk every day, especially if you know the truth already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to be real cautious in what you do and how you walk each day.
That's right. Water for that, sir. That was real heavy what you're bringing out. And that's exactly what happens. You know, if you're angry at your brother without cause, understand this. Angels are watching, just like the other one brought out, and taking notes, because you will be judged on being angry with your brother without cause. So continue.
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Recall, shall be in danger of the council.
Stop right there. Rakah. What does that mean, Officer talk about?
Recall is calling your brother evil, saying you're evil.
Or empty-headed also. So if you're calling your brother this, you know, empty-headed, dumb, you shall be in danger of the council, right? So if we're going throughout our daily business as soldiers in the ISUPK, you know, and, you know, we somehow get out of line and call our brother Rakah, right? We're going to counsel for that. Christ is saying this is a serious offense of calling your brother this, empty-headed, dumb, right? So it's so serious that you're going to counsel for it. That means if I can't work that out with my brother because I've done that, that means now we got to go to our camp leader, right? You won't find this in the Christian church. You won't find this in the Jehovah's Witness places and all this other kind of stuff. They talk about it, but it does not happen. It does not happen truly in the spirit of brotherhood. It happens in the spirit of Christianity is what it happens in. The one thing you do not want to be is in counsel for calling your brother stupid or empty-headed. You don't want to be in counsel for that, you know, or evil. So Christ is saying this is a serious thing. Go ahead.
If I may, another heavy point about that is the fact that going to council at that time meant like going in front of judges for like killing somebody. Your life was in danger. So Christ he never looking past. He's saying in the kingdom it's going to be not tolerated. It's going to be like you kill somebody to even treat a brother like that. That's all I had to say.
That's real heavy. Slack it. Appreciate that. Get that brother a hand. Got a long hand. Thank you. That's real heavy. Continue.
But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
Damn. I like it. So you call your brother a fool. You should be in danger of hellfire. Now, hellfire, from a Christian standpoint, you burning in hell, fire with the devil, with the pitchfork and all that other kind of stuff. But we understand that hell is a condition, that you're born into, that you live through. And when it says hellfire, you're talking about, because you called your brother a fool, the hell that you're going through is going to be even harsher, even more deeper, more punishment. With that, let's get Luke chapter 6, verse 31. Read.
Luke chapter 6, verse 31. And as ye would have men shall do to you, do ye also to them likewise.
There it is again. And as ye would that men should do to you, what you would want men to do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Once again, this is Christ talking. He's talking about your brother, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. We live in we're a nation of laws. Unfortunately, our laws, we've been told time and time again that the law does not apply to us. So we kind of live a lawless life a lot of times before coming into this truth. But you will hear people always say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Not understanding that those are Christ's words, and he's talking about your brother, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. So here it is again. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. And so we're talking about following the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So when we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments as a nation, that's what we're doing, not only just to please the Most High, but we're doing that so that we don't offend our brother. So that our brother, because we don't want to be offended by our brother. We don't want our brother taking our stuff. We don't want our brother, trying to take our wives, take our children, so on and so forth.
Right.
And it goes a lot deeper. I can't even touch on everything that this goes into. But once again, it sounds so simple, but at the same time, it's so deep. We don't have time to cover all the things that that we will want our brothers to do for us. It's in the law, statutes, and commandments, and it's in this book. And I'm going to read it one more time. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Christ is telling us to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments so we don't offend our brother, because we don't want to be offended. And with that, I want to go to John 15, 12, and 14.
John chapter 15, 12 through 14. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
There it is again. A commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Now he's commanding us to go out and join these nations together. The southern kingdom, join these kingdoms together. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. This is our commandment every single day, to go out and call out to our brother, so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indian. Read.
Greater love than hath no man than this, that a man lie down his life for his friends.
Once again, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So once again, we talk about putting away all of our selfish ways. Ultimately, not thinking about not just our own safety and physical well-being, but also not thinking about or caring about how we look, how we sound when we go out into the world carrying this truth. You know, sometimes, you know, you could get a little, I won't say get overzealous or anything like that, but sometimes you get so excited about this truth that you share wherever you go, you know, and so a lot of times we have to get counsel about, you know, our jobs and our slaves and everything, because we're not looked at kindly when we start sharing the truth. You know, when you start telling blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians that they're the chosen people of the Most High, other people don't like that, you know, and sometimes you got to be a little careful with your slave when you do this, when you're carrying this truth. And I don't want to get out of bounds too much, but just understand this. For me, you know, if you lose your job, that's part of my life. I don't know what to say about that, but we have to stop being so selfish. We have to understand that that the Most High charge for us is to bring the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom back together, and that's what our job is. And it's not always comfortable. It doesn't always feel good, but that's what our job is, you know. And sometimes we call, get counsel. And I'm speaking from my personal experience, you know, that sometimes the sword gets heavy, you know, and that's what this brotherhood is all about, because this brotherhood allows me to keep carrying my sword, even when it feels heavy, when it feels like I'm about to drop it. This brotherhood keeps this sword in my hand. This brotherhood allows me to make telephone calls and talk to brothers that, you know, I never thought I would have been talking to 2 or 3 years ago, you know. Feeling like you're going to look like a punk, you know, because you're talking about what your needs are, what your struggles are, what your demons are, right? If we don't put that stuff out there to men who are greater than us, we're doomed. You know, it don't matter how good you look or how bad you look. The point is, take advantage of this brotherhood, take advantage of counsel, so you can fight those demons and learn to grow in this truth, so that we can hand these traditions, these laws, statutes, and commandments to our children, to our wives, our cousins, our aunties, uncles, and so on and so forth. That's what we're here to do. Read 13, Bible shop?
No, we're on 14.
14.
Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I commandeth you.
Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. So all these things that Christ is commanding us to do, he's saying if you do them, you are his friend. Go to Matthew 18, 21 through 22.
Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how out shall my brother sinned against me, and I forgive him till 7 times?
Wow. There it is again. Well, I won't say that there it is again, but here we have a situation where Peter, apparently one of the brothers is, may or may have not done something, but the point is Peter asking Christ, how many times shall I forgive my brother? How many times shall I forgive the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that sins against me? So I forgive him 7 times? And Christ says what? Go ahead.
22. Yahweh says unto him, Salakia, Yahweh Shai says unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Good night. 70 times 7, my brother says against me. A lot of people get their calculator out and say, man, that's 490 times. No, it's more than 490 times. He said infinitely. If your brother sins against you and he asks you for forgiveness, you have to forgive your brother. So, anybody got anything to bring out on that?
Yeah, man. You just
go ahead, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, talk about.
Nah, you just keep on forgiving your brother, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We all different people, man. We all gonna butt heads eventually and have disagreements and even unknowingly, what I'm saying, push brothers the wrong way or accidentally offend brothers, man. You keep on forgiving your brothers because you want to be forgiven yourself.
Right.
Like you got to think, how many times have you sinned against the Most High? How many times should the Most High have put you to death?
Right.
You keep that in your head. You know what I'm saying? You deserve death. You deserve more than death. You know what I'm saying? You deserve to be. I heard one of the brothers say, you deserve to be a paraplegic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you keep forgiving your brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you want the Most High to forgive you, and that's what I want. That's what I want.
That's right. Go ahead, Adamon.
Yeah, something I just wanted to bring out as far as Peter's concerned. I don't got the precepts on hand right now, but there's 2 precepts that come to mind. You got to know the character of the brothers that's speaking, and the scriptures reveal it as you go through them. Peter was a writer. Peter was not. He was with the business, as we say, man.
Right.
And 2 examples I'm going to is when Christ was saying that, he's going to have to get turned over and somebody's going to betray him. And Peter is saying, no, I'll never betray you. And, no matter whether I have to face death or not. And then when they came to grab Christ in the garden, Peter whipped out the sword, man, and cut off the dude's ear.
Right.
So Peter was no nonsense. Like, if Christ was the number 1, Peter was his number 2. And the way I can, in my mind, I imagine him like a general behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He was like behind. He wasn't playing. And that's where he's like, man, should I give him 7 times or, you know what I mean? Because I want to get this brother out of here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Christ is still going to have mercy on the brother and forgive the brother. But that's all I have to say on that.
Right. The water for that. That's real heavy. Thank you, Adamon. Man, that's real deep. Real heavy what you're bringing out. So Peter, like you were saying, Peter, man, Peter might be ready to break you off. Like you say, bring the business. And the Most High Christ said he came, to put Peter, give him some discipline. Let's go with Mark 12 and 31. Go ahead.
Mark 12:31. And a second is like, namely, this that shall love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than this.
I want to say that's self-explanatory. And on the surface, it is self-explanatory. But once again, you know, a Christian will read this and just simply say, you know, love thy neighbor as thyself. And they think, in their mind, they're thinking, well, I want, you know, them to have all these good things and all this other kind of stuff. No. Christ is saying that he's talking about these laws, statutes, and commandments. So he says, and the second is namely this, that thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. If you love your neighbor, you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. There is none other commandment greater than these. So this book is written to the 12 tribes, the lost 12 tribes, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. So when Christ is saying, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself, once again, we keep coming back to it over and over again, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And it can't get any simpler. Anybody else want to bring anything out on that?
It's important to know who exactly the neighbor is that Christ is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because he's just not talking about your neighbor next door. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, you know what I'm saying, you could be staying next door to anybody. The actual neighbor that he's talking about is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These are your neighbors, man. So it's important to know exactly who Christ is telling you to love. You know what I'm saying? These neighbors you're talking about, these neighbors are not Africans, but damn sure not Asians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Damn sure, you know what I'm saying? Not Esau. Not our oppressors, because they are our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And you need to learn who these nations that are in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? These 18 nations that are in the Bible, because that's important too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to teach you exactly who your enemy is. That's going to teach you, you know what I'm saying, exactly who you're supposed to separate from. And that's all I want to bring out.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead, sir.
one more thing, can I pull a precept on that one?
Come.
If I may, Leviticus chapter 19. It's verse 1 and 2.
Salakia. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregations of the children of Israel. And
Israel. So this is who Moses is talking to. Now drop down to verse 18, Brother Kashar.
come upon. Verse 18. Sloppy. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against thy children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
There it is right there, That's it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. He's talking to Israel. That's the cut right there. He's not talking to anybody else. He told Moses to give these rules to the children of Israel.
Right.
That's all I know now.
Right.
Okay. Appreciate that, sir. And
Most High, right.
you know, for your average Christian. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, another thing about that, about what that means, the love that you share for your brothers, that means if you see your brother doing something wrong, don't be afraid to go over and correct him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Teach your brother the law, statutes, and commandments is loving your brother too. It ain't just giving him a hug or, you know what I mean, going over and saying, hey, how you doing or whatever. It's putting these law, statutes, and commandments inside of him too. So that's what we, as ISUPK, as Israelites ourselves, every time we see a brother, you can tell we love our brother when we extend this truth to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Water for that, Adawan. And any other comments? Before we get ready to wrap this up, I just want to say, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana started out at 1 West 125th Street. This is a school that no matter how long you've been here, you will never graduate from this school. So I'm grateful for that, because when we're bringing out these scriptures, the Most High is going to have his prophets, his priests and prophets in a place where what's going to come out is going to come out. It needs to come out. So, yeah, so like I said, you know, I'm just grateful for this truth. And you never graduate from the school. Never,
right,
never, ever.
Right.
So,
if I may piggyback off what you said, you know what I'm saying? The way the school is, and the way how amazing the Most High is you see, you know what I'm saying, the Most High strategically places his servants where they need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As we're teaching the class, you know what I'm saying, his priests and his prophets, you know what I'm saying, are strategically pulling out precepts that has to do with the subject of the class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These is highly trained soldiers in these precepts, you know, that are bringing out, you know what I'm saying, vital information that can save you during these hard times, you know, if you choose to accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, I strongly suggest, you know what I'm saying, if you're not in the Israelite School of Practical Knowledge, you get into the School of Universal Practical Knowledge and become a part of this brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Help build Christ's army. And that's all I want to say.
If there's no other comments, I want to read the security announcements. We are the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, it can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and in Malachi, chapter 8, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in Hebrew, Amaya Sharach. 10% of any increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. The Priest Fund is a free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations will be the Passover to be announced by Commanding General Yohana. Any other announcements you can find on the website at isupk.com. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, and headband or scarf. And with that, we're going to end the class. I'm going to say, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barak a thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shabbat thumb by Shem Yahweh Shai to all the sisters.
Wow.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barak a thumb.
Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Good class, huh? We got a lot of work to do. Shit. Ah, man, repetition is gonna get you there. Repetition is gonna get you there, sir. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Yeah, buddy. I probably said